All right, everyone, a massive welcome to all you project control professionals from Kent Business College. Today, we're going to have a chat about project management, and we're going to frame it with a good old British saying, horses for courses. I mean, you wouldn't enter a massive racehorse into a tiny Shetland pony derby, would you? Of course not. It's all about picking the right tool for the job. And as you're about to see, picking the wrong horse, well, it's not just a bit inefficient, it's a surefire way to make a proper pig's ear of the whole thing. So let's get right to it. Why is that? Why do some of your projects just sail along, smooth as silk, a real dawdle, while others, they just end up a complete dog's breakfast? The answer isn't just about having a genius project manager, though, that definitely helps. The real secret, the bit that sorts the pros from the amateurs, is matching your management style to the project itself. It's knowing which horse to back before the race has even begun. Right, then, here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to establish that not all projects are created equal. Then, we'll get our bearings by mapping out your project's uncertainty. After that, we'll choose the best route to take. That's your project lifecycle. Then we'll talk about steering the ship. That's the governance, the rules of the road. And to finish, we'll pull it all together. By the end of this, Bob's your uncle, you'll have it all sorted. Okay, section 1. Not all projects are equal. Let's think about it like this. Some projects are like a lovely, gentle Sunday drive down a country lane. It's predictable, it's calm, you know exactly where you're going. But others, they're more like trying to navigate London in a proper pea super fog with no sat-nav. You need a very, very different approach for each one.
So let's break that down. On one side of the coin, you've got definable work. This is your bread and butter stuff. The procedures are clear, they're proven. Think about assembling a car after the design's been locked in. It's pretty straightforward, right? Low risk. But on the other side, you've got high uncertainty work. Now, this is the exploratory stuff, where you're solving new problems, maybe creating a brand new design from scratch. It's all a bit up in the air, and it absolutely demands constant feedback and adaptation.
So, how on earth do you know what kind of project you're actually dealing with? Well, you need a map. That's what Section 2 is all about, mapping your project's uncertainty. We're going to find the right map for the territory you're about to step into. The very first question to ask when you're drawing this map is this: how well do we know the goal? This is all about the what. Is it crystal clear what you're trying to achieve, or is it all a bit fuzzy? Be honest. And the second, equally important question gets to the how. Is there a well-trodden path to follow? A clear, proven process that'll get you from A to B? Or are you basically blazing a whole new trail here?
Now, this is the clever bit. When you put those two questions together on a grid, you get the brilliant orbing model. Look, if your goal and your method are both crystal clear, you're in the top left, you're painting by numbers. Easy peasy. But if both the what and the how are unclear, well, you're down in the bottom right, my friend. You're walking in a fog, and that is a completely different kettle of fish. And those other two boxes, that's when you're on a quest. You might know what you want, but not how to get it, or you might have a method, but a vague goal. Either way, it's going to be an adventure.
Right. So now you've used the Obing model to map your project. You know where you stand. It's time to pick your route. Section 3 is all about choosing your project lifecycle. This is the actual journey plan you're going to follow based on that map you've just made. For all those lovely paint-by-numbers projects, the best route is the predictive lifecycle. It is absolutely perfect for when the work can be chopped up into a nice, predictable sequence. You're taking full advantage of what is already known and proven. No need to reinvent the wheel here. And a predictive route is completely linear, as you can see. You analyze, then you design, then you build, then test, and finally deploy. One step neatly follows the other. You can't jump ahead. It's as orderly and reliable as a queue at Wimbledon. But what happens when you're walking in a fog? You can't use a motorway map for that, can you? You need an agile lifecycle. This whole approach is about adapting to change. It works by doing things in small, finished chunks. That's the incremental part, and constantly getting feedback to improve as you go. That's the iterative bit. It's literally designed for when you just don't have all the answers at the start. So the agile route is less like a straight motorway and much more like a series of exciting scenic detours. You iterate, you build finished bits of the product along the way, you get that crucial early feedback from the customer, which gives everyone visibility and confidence. And here's the kicker. You deliver the most valuable stuff first. This means you can see a return on your investment much, much earlier. Now that's not half bad, is it? Right, we've got our map and we've picked our route. Now we need the rules of the road to make sure the whole trip is tickety-boo. So, Section 4, steering the ship, or as we call it, project governance.
For our predictable motorway journey, we use something called linear project governance. This is a very structured, very formal approach where the bosses, the governance boards, meet at specific pre-planned checkpoints called stage gates to make those big go or no-go decisions.
Think of these stage gates like planned stops at the motorway services. At Gate 0, you get the business case approved. Can we even go on this trip? Gate 1, the design gets the official sign-off. Gate 2 is for a final risk review before you start building, and Gate 3 is the final thumbs up. The key thing is, you must pass through each gate successfully before you can continue on your journey.
But you can't have those rigid, planned stops when you're exploring in the fog. It just won't work. That calls for a much more dynamic style, agile project governance. This is an adaptive approach, and it's all about empowering one person, usually called a product owner, to make rapid decisions on the fly, keeping the project moving forward, even through all that uncertainty. The whole feeling here is totally different. Think of the product owner as your co-pilot, constantly making small adjustments to the course. You use your regular progress reviews as your governance checkpoints, instead of those big formal gates. You might have a steering group light that meets often but keeps it short and sweet. The focus is on continuous alignment, not waiting around for a big meeting. It just keeps things moving. Okay, we're on the home straight now. Final section. Let's put all of this together and bring it home. It's finally time to match the right horse to the right course. And here it is, the key takeaway, all laid out for you. For a paint-by-numbers project, you want a predictive lifecycle with linear stage gate governance. Simple. For walking in a fog project, you absolutely need an agile lifecycle with agile governance and an empowered owner. And for those on a quest projects stuck in the middle, well, a hybrid approach often works best. It all just clicks into place when you see it like this, doesn't it? Just a couple of final, really crucial points to keep in your back pocket. First, in the real world, things are rarely so black and white. So don't be afraid to use a hybrid approach. You can absolutely combine formal stage gates with agile-style demos. And secondly, you can't just go off-piste. Your model must always align with your company's rules, things like mandatory reviews or that standard paperwork from your project management office. Don't get caught out by the red tape. So, there you have it. The maps, the routes, and the rules of the road. The big question for you now is, armed with all this, which journey are you going to plan for your next project? Are you painting by numbers, or are you ready for a walk in the fog? Choose wisely. Cheers!